war years, I guess the place to start with that is what were your emotions like when you found out you were drafted into the war?
Well, it was 41 we were married, and I was finally inducted into the Navy February 9th of 43. And when I got my draft notice, my wife was expecting. And when I went into the Navy, it was, well, in June is when Mary was born. February I went in. Well, it wasn't a happy time. At that time, of course, I'd never known of many people being in the service, but it was serious enough that I never expected to come back.
Yeah.
And then of all things, when I went down to be inducted, they picked 2 men out of the whole contingent to be in the Navy.
2 out of 100?
Oh, I don't know. We went on a bus. There was a bunch of us. Just 2 of us got a Navy tag around their neck. The Marines they just filled that contingent. I guess if I'd gone in the Army, I would have been in Patton's 3rd Army. But I got the Navy tag around the neck.
How do you I mean, obviously it was divine intervention, but I mean, was there some kind of system that designated you for Navy? Yeah.
No,
So it's strictly the Lord then.
All I can say is that the tag went around my neck and said Navy.
Yeah.
And so us, the 2 of us, separated from all the rest. And then we went to the Navy place and went through their whole procedure that day. And so when I came home that night, I guess they gave me a train ticket back to Saratoga, and then I hitchhiked home. But so when I came home, I told Ruth I was in the Navy because I was sworn in that day.
Was that a relief to you? I mean, at the time, did you realize that was a big advantage?
No. You talk to anybody that was in the Navy, it seemed there were 2 places that you went to, 2 things you did. You either became a hospital corpsman, or else you went into the armed guard on these freighters that they were being sunk constantly, going to the bottom. So when I went in, I never expected to come home.
Yeah.
And well, here I am,
Yeah.
several years later.
Yeah. Continue with your Navy story. Just give us a history of your Navy career.
Well, I went to boot camp for 12 weeks, I think. Never had a potato in there. in the boot camp. And then we had a 8 or 10 day leave. And then went back to outgoing unit. That was kind of fun. I was on a detail down at the gas chamber. We were cleaning up around outside the gas chamber.
Now, what city are you in here?
Oh, I'm out in Sampson.
Okay.
And here comes some guys from Corinth they were in boots. They had to go through the gas chamber.
Uh-huh.
And we'd been through it, so now we could holler, "You'll be sorry."
Yeah.
And of course you catch that right from the morning, the night we landed in Sampson. "You'll be sorry." And especially the next morning going through the chow line. But anyway, these guys from Corinth were coming through, and I'd been through it. I felt like an old veteran.
Yeah.
I'd been in the Navy for months or so, I guess it was Dud Cudney and I don't know, but Jim Monsley. Seems like that.
You had some high diving in boot camp too, didn't you? Didn't you have to do a high dive or something?
No, we didn't dive.
Oh, you didn't?
All you had to do is get off. Well, that was pretty high up. That wasn't boot camp.
Yeah, I thought you said it was up pretty high.
we were
but,
we were in school. That was Corpus Christi.
You used to have to run around an island or something too.
Oh
didn't you?
yeah. Let's see.
But we're getting out of order.
After that outgoing unit, we went to Michigan City for a month, pre-radio. It's just doing simple little things like they give us a piece of steel and cut it so big and file it down and all this stuff. Oh, I might say, can I brag a little?
Sure, you bet. That's what we want you to do.
In boot camp, one day a guy came around and he, how many want to go learn all the Navy secrets? Get into radar and sonar. And I don't know if they had sonar at that time. But anyway, learn all these electronic secrets of the Navy. So everybody's interested falling outside and talking to us and the bunch downstairs, two companies. There'd be, I don't know, 250 men maybe. So boy, you ought to see the crowd that assembled out there. So what they do, they marched just to another unit. We sat down and took a test. And of course we'd had a lot of tests in boot camp, you know, so we knew all about you. And those tests, they checked them over there at Sampson. And the next day, they called for me and one other guy to go back and take a test. And this was the Eddie test. This one went to Great Lakes to be graded. Well, that's the last we heard of that. Till after, well, it's the last we heard anything for quite a few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
It was after we'd come home on leave. We went back to outgoing unit, and guys, everybody seemed to be leaving us. But we were there. We were there for almost a month. What the holdup was, we had to wait for somebody else to get through pre-radio in Michigan City, and then they could send us to start a new class. Well, we put two and two together, and we thought maybe there's a chance for going to electronics. I guess probably, to be honest with you, I didn't join the Navy to fight. A lot of our schooling was with Marines. And those Marines, anytime, you know, they just wanted to fight, that's all. I've seen two of those Marines stand there in the head and socking each other just as hard as they could.
Are you, I'm missing your point. Did people try to pick fights with you?
Oh, no, not big fights.
Oh.
No, I didn't mean to mislead you there. But it comes to mind just the difference in mentality between a guy that was a sailor and a guy that joined up to fight.
Yeah.
Now I've forgotten what I was going to say.
Well, you were leading up to the radio school, I guess.
Oh, yeah. All right. So out of Michigan City, by the way, that's where I first saw television.
Huh.
One day they had this thing set up there, and we could see what they were doing in Chicago, which was, what, 100 miles up there?
Yeah.
Boy, that was something.
That was before the first network, I think. It must have just been
that was
government and military.
45.
Yeah.
No, not 40. 43. 43. Well, anyway, at Michigan, at Michigan City, one thing they would do, the chiefs run the Navy, you know. They have guys with gold on, but the chiefs run the Navy. They're the boss. Anyway, the chief took us one day out up there by Lake Michigan. We stood there, and did he ever brag us up? He built us up. We were brains of the Navy, you know, supposedly. And boy, what a build-up he gave us. Well, when it came actually being used, a pilot is expendable, but not a electronic technician. No, sir. They wouldn't expose them to the enemy.
Did you receive some kind of promotion at that point or something when you became an electronic technician?
Well, it hasn't come yet.
Oh, okay.
After you get through being an apprentice seaman, you get seaman second class. We went through this 30 days, so everything's so simple. I guess they did give us, maybe that's where we got first class. Well, anyway, from Michigan City, they gave us a dream sheet. Every place we went, they'd give us a dream sheet where we wanted to go to from there. And Grove City was one, and there was Texas A&M and Oklahoma, and I don't know if Treasure Island come up there, but all these places. Well, I chose Grove City College.
Mm-hmm.
Why? It was closest to
Closest
home.
to
I thought
home,
I
yeah.
could get home
Sure.
and see Ruth again.
Yeah. Did you?
Oh, yes. And when Mary was born, it was on a Friday, and I got special liberty so I could go Friday night and see her Saturday morning. And I come home, I didn't have to be back there till Sunday night. So I got to see her. I got to see her, that's about all.
Mm.
But, yep, and it's kind of bad on this end, you know, gas rationing. This is the way you go most of the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
Well, you went from there to Cocoa, didn't you?
no, it went from Michigan City to Grove City.
Right.
Grove City College. There we were in with the Marines and sailors. And that was a 3-month school there, playing with the slipsticks and all that stuff.
I still have your slide rule.
You have got it?
Yes.
Ruth paid quite a lot for that.
Is that right?
Day. Oh yeah, we would go through a bunch of them that we paid a quarter for down at that little store there, Grove City. But yeah, she got me that good one. And of course we learned all that stuff, math and electricity, motor generators, and all that kind of thing. And then we had Dream Sheet again after that 3 months. And oh boy, we'd be out drilling every morning, you know, before breakfast, I guess, and all that went through. We were still in the Navy. But what I always liked, that one guy, one old Marine, had joined the Navy, had joined the Marine Corps to fight. He sat there one day, slouched down in his seat about halfway back up this lecture hall. And the guy that was teaching, he saw him sleeping. He said, I hope I hit him. Bingo, he got him. You know, they joined the fight, not being school,
Yeah.
you know. So, oh dear. Well, anyway, the Dream Sheet came out. Now what are we going to do? We want to go to, there was some places in California. There was Corpus Christi. Corpus Christi is airborne radar. And of course, these other places were shipboard. And I chose Corpus Christi, airborne radar. Now, going through these first schools, it was the simple stuff that they taught us.
Mm-hmm.
Radios and transmitters and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get it. It was so new to me, I didn't get it. But today, a radio or transmitter, I'm not much on it.
Mm-hmm.
But when they got into the schematics and the different circuits and stuff, I kind of started understanding a little more. And so I guess I did all right through school. But when we got ready to graduate, the Navy was going to change their bombing from high-level optical bombing to low-level radar bombing.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were the first class. There was, I don't know, probably a dozen of us that took APQ-5 bombing. And we learned all about how that worked. And so after the school closed, they sent us to Banana River, Florida, course, we were the ones that were supposedly be the ones that knew.
Okay, I'm a little bit confused at that point. In Grove City, you filled out a dream sheet and said you wanted to go to Corpus Christi.
Yeah.
But did you go there first, or did you go to Florida first?
No, Florida's where I ended up.
Okay. So you've talked about Corpus Christi then?
Yeah, I guess that's where we did the high jump.
Okay.
That's where we ran around the island every.
Before we leave Corpus Christi, though, didn't Chip bring Mom down there on a train or something?
That's right.
Tell me, what was that all about?
Yeah. He was a great guy. You know?
Yeah, yeah. It was in the summer and on air-conditioned, grubby old car, right?
There's nothing like being lonely.
Yeah. How long was she there?
Most all the time was there.
Oh, so in other words, Chip brought her down to stay then?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mary, I don't believe she was, how old were you, 2 or 3 months? No, but you don't know from hearing it. I would say I hadn't been there over a couple months. No, less than that. Less than that, I think. But anyway, when I was in the Navy, I used to go to church. By the way, in Grove City, I was 20 years old teaching the men's Bible class.
Yeah.
The old men. It grows at, let's see.
What
We're
church
in
did you go
Texas.
to in Corpus Christi?
Nazarene. Nazarene, Grove City. And boy, they were nice to me. A lady by the name of Claire Campbell. She was a missionary in Africa at some time. At Stoneborough Camp was on. She told me, I guess I spoke to her about going up there. Says you go up there, you go right into your meals are all taken care of.
Didn't Mom have a close call with some intruder or something? Was that
That's Florida.
Okay, we're not there yet then. Okay, so go to Florida now and resume your Navy career.
All right, we went down there, and there was the training hops. This is just a training place now. ABTU is Air Bomber Training Unit. It was there at, it's Patrick Air Force Base now. I suppose the runways are still there where the guys come back from the moon and land on that strip we used to run all the while. Well, our job was to take the planes, a lot of the planes we used were planes back from the Aleutians, or else we had SMBs to install the gear at trainer planes. But these were all just practice, planes for practice. And these planes would fly with the pilot, co-pilot, and a radar instructor, and 2 or 3 Navy officers that were learning. And when you put a seaman teaching the guys with the gold braid how to do it.
So you were a teacher then?
I didn't teach.
Oh, you didn't?
No, some of us had to be teachers. Well, no, they didn't use technicians as a teacher. These kids would learn how to do it, and they would teach the officers. Our job was to install the equipment, maintain it. Some were used as instructors, and of course this all involved some flying.
I was going to say, when you installed it, you had to go up to test it probably, flight and stuff, right?
But as soon as I made first class, I got flight pay every month. Because even if I didn't have to fly for 4 hours to check out the gear, I'd have to go for a ride for 4 hours.
So you could log your time?
I was on maintenance, working there in the shop most of the time, but after a while I got kind of sick of that, so I took a crew and we installed. Of course, installing, you don't mean just putting stuff in the plane. You've got maybe 5 or 6 units that compose a set of radar. Then you've got 5 or 6 units that go together with the bombing gear, like where you crank in the rate and fall, the wind drift and all that stuff, and the receivers and so forth. Of course, what happens is the signals from the radar, you transfer them over to the bombing gear so you get your release at a certain point. And well, that went fine. After a while, I decided I wanted to go out and install, which we did. But I started to say, you've got all these cables. You've got to hook up each one up, and each cable conduit there, you don't know how many wires in each one, but you've got to connect them up on the right pins on both ends.
You would have made a great telephone man. That's what they did.
Oh, yeah. Well, so anyway, we got along good down in Cocoa. But then one day, we got a new kind of bombing gear in. And a fellow from New York, Aaron Jacobs, Jewish fellow, and I was given the job. We're given the job to get that operated. And when we got the gear, I had trouble on the gear. Of course, it's all pre-production. And the instructions was all pre-production. It so happened that the point of release for a bomb, it worked just opposite from the way we'd learned. A lot of this stuff we had to find out for ourselves. I'm going to skip here a little. We were on this for several days. I don't know whether it went into weeks or not, but it looked hopeless because there was trouble on the gear. And we didn't really know how it was going to come out. But one Sunday I was on PO to watch, carrying the 38 there. I was in charge of the sentries there on the base. And the car drove up outside there. They said, "We're from MIT. We want to talk to somebody from the radar department." So happened the executive officer was he was down in the metalsmith shop working on his car, and I went down and I told him. He said, "Go ahead and talk to him." APA-15 had been designed up there at MIT. And so they started asking me about it. Oh, I guess I got to jump back again, backwards. Jake and I worked on that, and one day we found something that doesn't happen. And we took care of that, and we told our radar officer about it. He ran right upstairs to tell the skipper. It so happened that Ruth was coming to Florida in just 2 or 3 days, and I wanted to go up to Jacksonville and meet her. Didn't take long for that special liberty to go through. No. Well, anyway, I always kind of liked that. But anyway, going back to the story about these guys from MIT, I told him that we got it going. He said, "You did. You beat the Army." So we beat the Army.
So his mom was there all the time that you were there?
She was there. We were living in Cocoa, out behind the house, in a little cabin out there. course, the toilet was fastened onto the back of the big house. And there was another shack out there. Another sailor and his wife was in. And Ruth one day had this lady write in her autograph book, or sign her name there. Name was Tyndall. And so happened that it was a hot night. Remember how hot it was, Mary? A warm night there, and apparently Ruth wasn't fully clothed. I don't know how much she had on, but it was an awful hot night. I was on duty at the base, and Ruth had Mary there. I don't know how much the guy could see around the shades. But anyway, here at night, somebody was going around each one of those windows. They didn't get in. And they went around to the screen door, tore a hole in the screen, and got into the porch, which was our kitchen. And then the door was right ahead of him to go in where Ruth was, in the other room there. A loose-fitting door with a hook on it. If you just reached there on the refrigerator where he was and take a knife, you could have flipped that latch up. Ruth hollered, "Mr. Tyndall." And that guy took off and was shot out of the gun, so I hear. But I understand way over at the post office they heard Mom holler, "Mr. Tyndall." It wasn't long.
I can't hear her with a voice that loud.
Apparently they could hear it all right. And it wasn't long, the shore patrol was there. I didn't know about it till the next night because I was on duty that night. Squadron duties. But there was no place for her. Of course, I put her on the train and sent her home. And but of course, I couldn't leave her home long.
When did you stay in until what was it, VJ Day or whatever? So you were into the final end then.
Yeah. Well, you see, like I say, there was only 5 or 6 of us technicians that had been through Q5 school, and so we were alone there until they broke up in DeLand, Florida. They had an air base, and they had some radio men there that had been in quite a while, so maybe they had made first class, I can't think. But they came down and joined us. Of course, they didn't know anything about this stuff that we did. They changed them over into AETMs instead of being radio men.
What rank did you leave the Navy as?
Well, it's aviation electronics technician, first class. No, not rank, that's weird.
Well,